Okay, hello everyone. This is Commander Trium talking to you once again from the Elite Dangerous universe. And today on Elite Dangerous, we will be moving to asteroid duty. That's right. We will look for lifeless rocks that we can chop into smaller bits of rubble and use to earn credits. Just one moment. Okay. We are now fully in the game. Let's see here. Squaddle's in the main menu. Some of these people haven't been here for quite a while. Mr. Osgood has not been here in days. Jonas is here. Let's see, there's my block list getting ever so much longer. Oh, it's disappointing. Oh, isn't that neat? And we'll do this in open play. Now, we're not in a system with the desired mineral content, but there is a system nearby which does have the desired mineral content. Okay. Here we are at MacArthur Gateway. Have a quick peek. That's system map. We do have a ring around this planet. We'll explore that and then we'll move on to our next destination. What do we got here? Power play cycle imminent, of course. Coming up on Friday. Let's see if Commander Squaddle wants to have a chat. There you are. Hello? Hello? There you are.
Now you can hear me.
Now I can hear you.
Your shit on?
What?
Finally turned your shit on?
No, I don't know. It just started working. How odd. I suppose I can always open up Discord again in order to transfer audio over there if you so prefer, but inside of a starbase the audio seems adequate for me anyway. It's almost as good as you get it from a Discord.
There's always background noise in the in-game comms that gets to me after a while.
Yeah.
Like that popping and staticky and squeaking shit.
Just don't like the radio, eh? I grew up on ham radio, so I guess I'm more used to it. But yeah, they should get, they could do...
Let's put it this way. I've got satellite, I've got XM radio, Sirius XM radio in my pickup.
Yeah.
It comes through crystal clear.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm used to listening to, not poppy staticky fucking shit.
Yeah, the poppy staticky fucking shit is non-digital. It'll be analog somehow.
It's fucking annoying is all it is.
Yeah.
And it's not, if it was natural it'd be one thing, but it's synthesized so it's worse.
Yeah. They're trying to, of course, it's analog, what's the word? Simulation through digital, which is kind of, you know, trying to simulate AM quality radio over a static bound analog connection. When you've got digital infrastructure in the first place, it begs the question, what the hell for? I sympathize. So I got a message from Turgeon. I sent you a copy on that in Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna look at it a little bit.
He seems very level-headed compared, like I said to him, he's by far and away the most level-headed person I've encountered so far in Discord, perhaps aside from you and Spike. You know, not really reacting. The one thing he said that did stick out in my mind though was just how mad the other guy got. I'm on stream right now, so I'm not going to get too descriptive, but you know who I'm talking about. The other fellow got apparently much angrier than he sounded with me. And given the fact that, you know, I do have this memory, and I don't know if it applies in every case, but there were only 9 actual streams, 4 of which were streams where I was streaming from my own server and didn't have anyone else streamed. And I think of those 4, 2 of them included chat sessions with you and Spike on Discord. One was just a dedicated stream with Spike, and there was no Discord server involved. It was just a direct chat. So of the 9, there would only be 4 candidates that where I could have actually done anything that might have been considered unacceptable. Of those 4, 1 may be an offense, but I'm guessing it's the only one. And I still don't even have a URL on that. Spike said he was looking for it. He didn't. Last I heard, he didn't find it. So what the hell this is all about, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if this isn't manufactured. But one thing was certain, was just how angry. Oh, the other thing was the analytics. The analytics said that there was only one view of the 4 possible streams that he could be referring to. In the last 36 hours, there was only one stream recorded. One viewing stream recorded from YouTube, and it wasn't me. So that means that whoever reported it, there should be at least 2. The person who reported it to the other guy that I'm referring to, or he himself saw it and didn't need it reported to him by anyone else. So my guess is that there was a third party that did report it to him based on his original message. So the math doesn't quite add up either. He didn't bother to even check to see if what was said was true. He just acted on it.
Well, maybe he did watch your videos, I don't know.
Well, the arithmetic isn't there. Like, there's no way to, and I can't verify it. It doesn't tell me who. Obviously, YouTube isn't, for privacy reasons, doesn't tell you the IP of people who visit your page. But, you know, it's very strange. It's a bizarre situation. And the fact that I actually took a poll on Twitter. I put 2 questions in, and I said, words to the effect of, you can see it for yourself verbatim, but words to the effect of, do you agree that on balance people should be given the benefit, should at least be given a hearing when there is, even when there's evidence that seems to indicate they behaved a certain way? Or do you think they should just, basically what the context never matters and you should just basically act on the evidence alone? And the other question I asked is, in your dealings with people, do you as an individual agree with giving a person a hearing before reaching a decision? And there's 1 vote that was put into strongly disagree, or no, you should never be given an opportunity to say anything, just go with the evidence. And 3/4 of the respondents so far, and I think there's a total of 5 in the majority case so far, but it's only been 1 day. 75 to 80% have said, no, you should, on balance in my life, I give people a hearing, or I, usually will act unless the evidence is completely damning and totally without context or meaning. But it was interesting because some people said, somewhat agree, but not strongly agree. And the somewhat agree means that there is room for people to simply conclude based on the evidence alone, and not give anyone another opportunity to say anything or explain themselves. So there is that element to human beings that I hadn't considered before. So you were correct, is what I'm trying to say in a long-winded kind of way.
There's always different personalities, different takes on the same topic, so...
Yeah. I just found that interesting. It's a straw poll, it's not scientific or anything, but it's interesting that I'm getting a different response than what I expected to get. I mean, generally, yes, people do hear you out. As a general rule, that's what I'm getting, but there are exceptions to every rule. But what I still can't get past is why this individual that we're talking about is so pissed off. Like, the words that were used were, as it said, were never before has he appeared to be this pissed off before in all the time that I've seen. And I didn't shoot a family member, I didn't kill his dog, it wasn't really, at worst, in my mind, it was a breach of etiquette. That's the absolute worst case scenario. And to react that way over a breach of etiquette seems to me extreme, but What do I know? Apparently I've judged humanity completely incorrectly again. But we'll see. Anyway, I just thought that he was he was particularly level-headed. The other fellow was particularly level-headed and very you know, he's close friends with the guy, and I didn't want to put him in an uncomfortable position. So my search for beta testers will continue on the Solistus front, but there are many to choose from. I don't think I'll be wanting for people to contribute. I reached out to Drew Wagar again directly. Oh, the other thing I noticed was I was doing I did a psychological review. I found a psychologist on YouTube who was commenting about these phenomena on Discord. And he said that the worst thing that can happen to an individual in these types of online scenarios, social media and whatnot, is that they get cast by the community as irredeemable. The second that happens, the person is likely, the person who's the victim of being cited as irredeemable is likely to start engaging in antisocial behavior. They're at serious risk for it. So the worst thing you can do is like jump up and down on top of someone and do like what Marcus and company were doing and say, you know, oh, you're a terrible person, you're evil, blah, 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 and make it so that, you know, no one else will talk to them either, and try to destroy all their social relationships. That's the most direct route to making someone else to contributing up to a likelihood that the other person will start engaging in self-destructive behavior or in antisocial behavior. At least that's one psychologist's professional opinion. Any viewpoint on that, or would you agree with it or disagree?
I guess I don't suffer from that personality issues.
No, I'm talking about people generally.
I'm just saying, me, I've never had that problem, so I can't say much to it. I'm not a psychologist.
I've heard of cases where, like, in some religious communities, like Mennonites, or Amish or Hutterites, who practice shunning. Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses also practice shunning. What they'll do is they'll basically get everyone in the church under penalty of being excommunicated themselves to not speak to a specific individual who's been cited as a heretic. So that's another example of this, right? And what ends up happening is human beings are social creatures, so their whole life just gets turned completely upside down. Now, you've never had this happen to you. Most human beings, thankfully, will never have this happen to them. But the worst thing that you can almost do to someone, one of the worst things, in a non-physically violent way you can do to someone, is cause everyone else to stop talking to them. It destroys people's self-identity, their sense of self-worth. Now, I'd like to think I'm immune to this, of course, but I can't say for sure. Objectively, I'm me, so I've only got one perspective. But I mean, I'm not showing any signs as far as I know of that right now. But other than just cutting myself off from Discord, but potentially, although I don't think that's necessarily unhealthy, given given that it's not my issue that I'm dealing with here, it's really other people's issues. But as far as I can tell, but maybe I'm wrong-headed there. I don't know. I know it sounds like I was turning it around because you and Spike were trying to help me sort of fit in better on Marcus's channel, but there are cases where people just don't fit in. And I'll confess, I was starting to feel that there was a clique kind of mentality becoming evident on this other fellow's server. This fellow's server who we're talking about, and I mean, a certain amount of clickiness, if I can use that word, is understandable. I'm not English, for example. I'm not. I don't go to geek meets, you know, in London or wherever, or in Manchester or wherever. I can't. I'm too far away, even if I wanted to. And maybe that's a good thing, given, you know. But I mean, I was just getting a sense I don't really fit in here either, you know. And the thought had, I have to confess, did occur to me beforehand that it was time to move to another server, or move on and explore other options. Ironically, the places where I've seemed to fit in the best so far are places like Canon or Zencast. Those are larger communities. There's more diverse arrays of people in them, but and I think that lends itself to less clickiness. But Discord overall, I would say, has a propensity for clicks to form. Spike agreed with that when I mentioned it. He said, "Holy shit, you've hit the nail on the head." You know, right there with that one statement. And instead of trying to fit in everywhere else, maybe that's not the solution here. Maybe the solution is, you know, finding places to fit in where I'm not necessarily going to become sort of someone who's seen as an external party. But once a clique forms, that's very difficult to do, right? Like, are you very welcoming if you're a group of people who just will stick to your own membership and not really listen to other people? To be fair, that was not the experience completely I was having on this one server. There were some people where it was, and many who it wasn't. Now, on Marcus's server, people were. You said, and so did Spike, that there were people almost universally speaking ill of the way that I was integrating there, and I don't know why that would be, why you would have someone act one way towards me directly and then turn around and just go along with whatever the group leader had to say about the subject. You said Marcus was standing up for me and defending me periodically at one point. But is he the leader? Once he had made his decision that I was like being, you know, no longer worthy of being agreed with, that all kind of went to pieces. I didn't really have an advocate in the channel. You and Spike weren't there, so I shouldn't have to rely on an advocate anyway. And Faramir was wrong. He still is, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, how'd your day go? Hello?
Oh, sorry. It's a stupid mute button.
Were you saying something during that little diatribe, or?
Well, you said something, I replied. I didn't realize that.
No, I
yeah, so.
didn't hear anything, so I kept talking. Sorry if I interrupted you. I think I was saying something about Marcus agreeing with me or disagreeing with me. But it's all ancient history.
You
What?
can't seem to find videos of you in having Discord conversations?
No, I can, just not on that server. Like, there can only be a finite number of them. I was only there for 2 weeks. That's not that long. So there's only 9 videos that are candidates. And I didn't see anything there that looked like it was an offending video. So unless someone passes me a URL with the evidence, probably not going to find it. Right? That's logical, isn't it?
Well, I've kind of seen, you got about 3 videos here for sure that I can see that you were in Discord conversations with these people streaming.
3?
Ah.
Send me the URLs. Because I didn't see them, and I thought I'd checked. I didn't check thoroughly. I didn't watch the whole videos, but...
Well, most of these, you can see it right away when you start the video up that you're in a Discord group talking.
Yeah, but they aren't with these people. There was one I was on Zencast. I wasn't even on their server. Like... And like I said, even if there was such a case, there was still permission given, at least prior to one of them.
That's kind of... you pretty much have to ask every time. And it's... You think here the rest of the world has different viewpoints than we do in North America here, where we have the right to record any fucking conversation we're having at any given time without notice? Other places don't have that privilege.
Well, in Canada, if you're going to use it as part of a process, the standard attitude is at odds with the United States. You do have to ask for permission, but something like Discord is just casual, public chat. It's not really thought of, like if you were in a restaurant and you were outside the restaurant on the patio and someone had their cell phone running, recording your conversation. It might be thought of as rude, but it would not, strictly speaking, be wrong. It wouldn't be illegal, for example. But it probably would be seen as a breach of etiquette. Would it result in someone being enraged? Well, they wouldn't have the basis for it. It's not against the law. On what basis would they say, what the hell are you doing recording me? While you're outside.
That's just it.
They could someone could just as easily say, I'm not recording.
That you're involved in. If you're eavesdropping on somebody else recording it, you need to have...
eavesdropping is way, way too strong a word for it. It's not eavesdropping just because it's in public.
Well, if you're recording somebody else's conversation in public, yeah, it becomes it's no longer a conversation you're necessarily involved in.
No, it's true.
You're not a participant in the conversation. It is eavesdropping. It is being nosy. You don't have the right to record other people's conversations. There is still the expectation of privacy. If I'm talking on my phone in a public place, you don't have the right to record my conversation.
Well, but your side, if you're the one who's in the public place in both Canada and the United States, the law says otherwise. The law says actually, yes, you are in a public space, and I can record you. Just not both sides of the conversation. I can only record one side, the side that you're on, if you're within earshot. You could not take anyone to court in Canada, the United States, and cite them for it. Wouldn't work. And your lawyer will tell you that.
So I'm not saying it's a matter of legality. I'm just saying you don't have that right.
It's a breach of etiquette, is what you're...
wrong. There's morals and ethics.
Well, hold on.
Don't necessarily agree with the law.
Yeah, that's true, but hold on a second. What's morally wrong with it if you're in public? I may not even be recording you.
Okay, if I'm having a conversation on my phone.
Yeah. In public.
Say my wife or my daughter or my kid or something.
In public.
And you're recording that shit. You're finding out information about my wife or daughter or son or whatever.
Potentially.
You should not have at all. And then you're recording it, and then you're going to redistribute that out.
What if I wasn't... No, but listen. The reason the law says what it does is because it says It says what it does because what if I'm not recording you talking to your wife? What if I'm recording something else completely and you just happen to appear in the recording of you talking to your wife where you're discussing private matters in public? The onus then is on you to not discuss private matters in public, to take the conversation somewhere private. And there are plenty of places.
Just because it may be legal does not mean it's morally or ethically right. That's where I'm getting at.
I understand. Believe me, I studied 2 years of philosophy worth of this stuff. I have done my reading and homework on the subject. I know what the difference is, I think. I just don't necessarily agree that it's automatic, that it becomes immoral just because you're choosing to have a private conversation in public.
Now we jump to where you and I disagree on the same viewpoint. I think it's wrong for you just to, record my shit and then you go and fucking rebroadcast it without my permission when it's a sensitive subject. You know that it's a sensitive subject and you still choose to broadcast it?
Well, if I wasn't listening to you at that point and then I did broadcast it unknowingly.
9 times out of 10, people generally review shit before they go and rebroadcast it. At which point, if it's something sensitive like that, the moral obligation is then to not broadcast it.
I suppose, but it's really easy not to. You see, I don't rewatch every video that I rebroadcast on YouTube. So there's a classic example right there where that doesn't happen.
You generally know who you're carrying conversations with. If you know that you're recording the Discord or recording all the.
You know what? None of this even. Yeah, but none of this.
Have a good idea of what's going on in that conversation.
Here's the thing.
Now,
I wasn't.
Through the fucking mall, if you're just recording everything around you, well, then it becomes slightly different.
I understand. Here's the thing.
You might not catch every conversation when strolling through the mall, but if you're in a particular Discord voice channel, you know what's being said in that channel at any given time because you're an active participant in that discussion, whether you were actually speaking at the time or if you're just listening.
I may be okay, fine, I understand. But I may have been listening and completely unaware that I was recording it. For example, it is...
You need to be a little more self-aware of what you are doing.
I guess so, but it's well within the scope of human error, is my point. And even if I was deliberately doing it with full knowledge, with having mistaken permission for being carte blanche, then in that case, the worst that I've done is I've breached etiquette. And there are levels of acceptable responses to breaching etiquette, and I'm arguing and contend strongly, vigorously, that it's at least equally, if not more wrong, to cite someone to the extent this has gone for breaching etiquette. It's really not worth that. It's really not that important.
Three of your videos, and the one video's got this person we're talking about obviously in that Discord channel.
So what? So
but
what?
You're obviously not recording your own Discord channel. You're recording somebody else.
Okay, but I'm making a point here. So what if it's him? Is he talking about his family? Is he talking about something private? Is there harm being done? No. So why is it so vital and so important that there is that instead of simply confronting the individual saying, look, I found these 3 videos or I found these videos here, could you be more careful? Or perhaps...
We got to return back to different viewpoints of different people. Maybe this person felt that it's morally and ethically wrong for you to do it and decided they no longer want to associate with you.
That's perfectly...
Right. It does not matter if it's fair. They have the right to pick and choose who their friends are, who they associate with, and who is welcome in their channel and who is not.
I suppose that's true. But you were arguing right and wrong at one point. I was arguing ethics. This is in the scope of that conversation. I was simply
we're still talking about it.
Yeah, well, I think it's ethically wrong. I think it's ethically wrong to
have different viewpoints on the same point.
And they can be also ethically wrong in their view.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter now because they're entitled to their...
No, you are not entitled to be ethically wrong, not as a matter of philosophy. If you're ethically wrong, it's reprehensible, and that's that. There's no other view on the subject that I'm willing to entertain.
Let's go back to the subject of the videos that we're talking about here.
Okay.
Person A is upset because person B recorded some content out of their Discord channel.
Okay.
Well, person A has the right to decide for themselves if they want person B if they want to communicate and associate with them in the future again.
Well, to use your own language, well, I'm not. You're speaking of rights in a legal context, and I thought we weren't talking.
I'm just speaking in general.
Well, what's a right if not enforced by law? What does right mean? I don't understand. Rights to me are a legal construct, so...
Where do you have any legal rights to be on this person's channel?
I don't. I was invited.
Gotten upset with you.
I was invited.
Yeah, you're disinvited as well.
Yes.
This is the point I'm trying to get at, Trium. You refuse to think outside the box and look at it from another perspective.
I disagree.
Right now, you're seeing yourself as the victim, and you refuse to look at it from his perspective.
I'm trying to understand his... No. I'm going to interrupt you. No, you're wrong. I'm trying to understand his perspective, with all due respect.
And I'm trying to explain a possible perspective, but you keep telling me that I'm wrong.
No, I'm simply saying it's unethical. But you may be completely correct.
Ethics depend on your upbringing, your personal beliefs, the social beliefs of...
Oh, I see. Okay. For me, no, they don't. For me, ethics are absolute, and I'm willing to bet that they're actually absolute for you as well. But as a student of philosophy, I can.
It depends on which ethic.
Yeah.
Do I agree with killing somebody just because they made you mad? No, that's wrong. That's going to be pretty much universal.
Pretty much, not always, but yes.
Now, if you were to say something inappropriate to my wife or my daughter in my presence,
yeah,
I believe that I got the moral, ethical right to punch you in the fucking mouth. Not everybody's going to agree with that, but that's my personal belief.
I can't imagine myself ever doing something like that. Let me preface it that way, but I would say.
I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah.
Different people have different viewpoints. There are many viewpoints that are shared amongst the mass majority. Now, you get modern society, they're not going to think that it'd be socially acceptable and ethical and moral for me to punch somebody in the fucking mouth if they were talking shit to or about my wife or daughter or my family.
Not unless they're posing some kind of threat. Yeah, no, I mean, not most people would probably, I'm guessing, but I would guess that most people will probably say that's going a little bit too far, crosses a line. But you may
people have different beliefs.
You may feel compelled nonetheless to I mean, we're all human, right? Fundamentally. This is my point, is that fundamentally we're all human. Even if I did the worst of the worst and I'm guilty of breaching ethics and his values being what they are, or it's considered acceptable. Let's agree to all that. Even if that's true, I still don't get how it helps him, how it helps anyone else, or exactly what is being achieved here. Human beings make mistakes, and I'm not going to stop because he got mad at me. It doesn't really change anything.
You're still obsessed with. You're the victim. You're the one who's wrong.
No, Jesus Christ! It doesn't. You're not hearing the right thing. You're not hearing me say. With all due respect, you're not hearing me say what I'm trying to get across to you is that human beings make mistakes. It doesn't make me the victim. It's a statement of fact. Human beings make mistakes. So does he, incidentally.
You're trying to argue with me that now that you got kicked off this person's Discord channel, you're still going to make mistakes. Well, yeah. You're trying to tell me something that a 3-year-old can tell me here, buddy.
Okay, well, I'm just going back to basics.
I-
Not meant as an insult, but it's...
What if person A, they've made a decision about how they want to manage their life? Where do you get off being able to dictate policy to this person?
How did I become the person dictating anything? I didn't take any action.
You're the one that's trying to... It's unfair. You didn't give me a chance to defend myself. What does it matter? He made a choice. He doesn't want to talk to you. Don't push the subject.
I'm not pushing the subject.
Why does it even matter?
It doesn't.
That's what I'm trying to get at here.
Well, except that I want to understand. Except that I want to understand human behavior. Okay, don't ask questions. Can I interrupt for just a second here? Don't ask questions and then right away start talking again, because it makes it very difficult for me to respond to you. What's that?
You do the same thing to me quite often.
Well, interrupt me then, because I shouldn't. If he wants to take this action, fine. That's okay. But I'm trying to understand human behavior. That's where this conversation began. Right? It's not about me being the victim. I could care less about that. Fine, I'm the victim. Big deal. Who cares? I've been the victim before. I'll be the victim again. But I don't. It's not going to change anything about my life. It's not going to change my mind, my views, nothing. What's relevant here is my understanding of human behavior. That is the key goal, is to try to figure out, okay, so I try to understand his point of view. It seems completely alien, but okay, we'll try to understand the system of values and whatnot behind it. I have at least two other people who agree that, okay, I've never seen anything like this from this individual before, and they make no claims about it, no effort to explain it, although I suppose on a superficial level I can understand someone being miffed about it or upset about it even. But in terms of functional response, getting people to the point where they feel uncomfortable around me and try to damage the other person's reputation to the point where they are considered irredeemable, that's going to an extra level, and that's what I'm starting to detect here. And I don't get that. And so I'm trying to understand human behavior. What would make someone do that in a case? And that's where the conversation is really focused for me. It's, if we're talking about ethics, if we're talking about, all the other system of values around it, that's the...
In the past about some people just want to see the world burn.
That's not this individual. It couldn't be, unless I'm way off.
This individual, but I'm just saying in general, there are people who basically, once you piss them off, they want to get one last chance to fuck with you. And then they're probably going to be done with it.
So I should let that happen.
It happened, 2 weeks ago? No, it shouldn't necessarily let it happen. But I'm just saying, they were still upset and pissed off at you. So it really isn't surprising that they came after you and ganked you.
That was months ago.
No, like 2 weeks ago.
Well, no, the incident in question was 2 weeks ago, but the actual catalyzing event was months back. It was at the end of January, I think. Anyway, I don't expect you to do any work for me. Like, if you have these URLs, perfect. Please send them to me.
I already did.
Good. I'm not on Discord, so I couldn't see them. I'll look into them more deeply, and apologize for my laziness if I missed them in advance. I had thought there was just a 9 because of the dates involved, but maybe I'm off. I don't know.
Well, these 3 videos all happened after Marcus and crew ganked you.
That might have been right after. And I think there were... Hang on. I'm trying to remember events. Like, honestly, I really wasn't thinking about it. And as a general rule, generally, I was practicing the policy of simply recording my own server. However, you have to do something on Discord very specific in order to just listen to the chat and not have it go record through OBS into your stream. And I may not have done that properly, and if I didn't, then that's the source of the problem. But I can't do anything. I mean, defending oneself against charges of any kind from anyone is very difficult to do when we're not telling you what you're charged with, or you're charged with this, but we're not going to let you examine the evidence so you can figure out what the hell happened. Like, there's reasons in law and ethics may not be the same, but there are usually reasons in law why people want law and ethics to sort of map to one another somehow. And usually there is a reason why people act the way they do, and why laws are the way they are, and why they've been enacted the way they've been enacted. They may not be valid, they may be flawed, they could be, harmful even, but there's usually a reason. And I'm trying desperately to get through to that, and up until your information, I didn't even have that. So it's very difficult for me without...
I just sent a link to a fourth video.
Well, there's only 9. How could there be... That doesn't make any sense.
Go look at the videos.
I'll have to look at them.
It's obvious when participants in the Discord channel are up in the right top left corner of the screen. You're talking to people, or you're in the Discord channel with people that I don't know. You might have heard of.
How can there be? There shouldn't even be. Okay, you said something key right there. With people in the Discord video in the top left-hand corner of the screen, how could that even be when you have to go control and left single quotation mark in order for it to transmit through to the stream? And I've never done that. Maybe Discord.
Their names are showing up in the top left-hand corner. That could be just enough.
See, what if Discord did an update and something went wrong? Like, there are so many different explanations for this based on what we know right now. I can't even begin to. Anyway, I'll look into it.
Just get into the habit of anytime somebody joins your discussion, inform them that you are recording. At that point in time, they can choose to participate or leave. That's the only thing you're going to be able to do to save your ass in the long run.
In the long run, although the entire Discord community could also adapt. There was one other case, incidentally, historically. This is kind of beside the point, but I'll raise it anyway, just because it's interesting to me, if not you, which it might be. Once upon a time, if you used the equivalent service to Reddit that existed at that time, which was called NNTP, it was illegal for you to post any kind of commercial ad or even discuss making money. It was considered poor etiquette and could get you kicked off of, one news group or another, or get you email bombed very quickly. And that was considered good etiquette. Now Reddit, I think, sponsors ads of its own.
Every fucking site on the internet does that.
Well, I'm just saying, the standard changed. What was considered good etiquette or bad etiquette is now acceptable. And it's...
I got ad blockers on my fucking
I
internet.
know. So...
on my damn phone.
Yeah. I do too.
I need to figure out how those super little YouTube video clips that are on Facebook, they always have to inject a fucking ad in the middle of the goddamn video.
Yeah, I know.
I need to figure out how to get rid of that shit, because that's just annoying as well.
I particularly hate it when you've got form sites where you have to fill out forms of one sort or another. They're the same sites that the ad people use. And the ads end up being visible again for one site or another because you take them out of your host file in Windows. That drives me crazy. Because it's like the ad companies are trying to bypass all the protections that all the steps that users have taken to not be included in their spam.
All the overwhelming advertising that we get nowadays is we're just bombarded with so much of it, we tend to tune it out and ignore it.
Exactly. But somehow, but this is considered now.
Especially the younger generation, you bombard them with advertisements.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking auto-ignore that shit.
Yeah, I know.
They
don't care. No.
They will fucking go on research and look for what they want. The older generation, they're the ones that were used to watching the commercials on TV and learn about new products and stuff.
Well, if you're talking about,
don't care.
Yeah, if you're talking about,
they don't want to be told about it.
If you're talking about older than me, you're correct, because I think my generation was among the first to sort of tune out the ads, but maybe not. Anyway, there's a lot of people read them, and it's considered acceptable now, and I don't know, what the future holds for Discord, if this train on etiquette will change, but I can only imagine with the integration of social media that certain taboos will no longer be taboo in the future.
What if you workplace that they can tell if I'm running an ad blocker or not, and you'll get a fucking pop-up asking you to
Oh, I know.
right away.
I know. Yep.
The way I see it, if you have to ask me to turn my ad blocker off, obviously I want nothing to do with your site, so I leave there.
Yeah.
So the ad blocker to me helps minimize the bullshit I don't want to see.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Really bad ones that are going to fucking bombard you regardless.
Yeah.
They basically admit, as soon as you jump onto the page, that hey, I'm gonna bombard you with advertisements whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So I just fucking don't bother going to that site.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, the only way I found out about that NNTP thing, etiquette breach, was actually posting an advertisement for at the time, what was my very first consulting company. It was called Gen X Development. Back when that was a buzzword. It's not anymore, of course. Boy, we got a whole bunch of email out of that. Most of it not very helpful. And people were really genuinely pissed off about it. It didn't even have to affect them and their daily lives, but they got so angry that someone had posted an ad to the news group. You should have seen. They were literally livid. That a small business would dare breach etiquette like that, and it's so strange to me. It really is, because in the end, what difference does it make? Weigh this in terms of your daily life. Is it going to interfere with it? I mean, usually there's no reason to get that pissed off.
Some people just don't want random things inserted into their daily lives that they have no interest in.
I guess.
That's one of the biggest issues with modern society right now. Is people don't want to have to be involved in things that they don't want to be involved in, but still have to participate because it's automatically injected into their life.
Well, no one.
If they want to participate or not.
Yeah, no one really likes it, but when it comes to advertisements, we all put up with it, don't we?
My last comment was about any topic.
Yeah.
Not just advertisements.
But I'm just using advertisements as an example. We do put up with it. All of us do, to some degree.
Here's one. Modern society, you're starting to see a lot more lesbians, gays, bisexuals.
Yep.
All of them groups.
Right.
Well, they're becoming more and more vocal about wanting to live their life the way they want to see fit. Well,
right.
So why the fuck do I got to be involved? Why do I have to sit and know what's going on behind your closed doors? Why the hell do I care? That's where a lot of people get pissed off. Is because do what you want with your life. I don't need to know what's going on.
But if they hadn't said it, yeah, that's true. But if they hadn't started by saying anything at the very beginning, where would we be now? Exactly where we were, and there'd be tons of discrimination. The people whose lives would be impacted wouldn't be you; it would be them.
That's true. The thing is, at this point now, I don't give a shit about anybody's sexual orientation.
But that's now.
telling me that you're gay. I don't care.
I know, but that's now. That's.
You still got all these people out there that got to go out of their way.
Yeah. But you know how you and I both know this much about human beings is that our society.
It gets annoying after a while.
Yes, it does. But our society moves very slowly. Policy changes happen slowly. Behavior en masse happens slowly. It doesn't just change overnight. It's going to take time.
And it means that I'm supposed to just be happy.
No. You actually.
Everybody in their shit, intruding into my fucking personal life. I don't want to know what goes on in the neighbor's house.
No, but then you should say that. Then just say it. Just say it like that.
It's now been injected into my personal life. Why shouldn't I get upset about that?
You shouldn't. You should. Well, I don't know how upset you should get. I'm not going to rate that, but except to say that generally being upset isn't healthy. But if you're going to be, you shouldn't just sit on it either and just take it. Just say what you mean. You should be.
There's the thing with modern society. The neighbors are. Oh, they're just going out of their way to fucking show public affection and everything else, which is fine, but when they're sitting out in front of my house on the sidewalk making out, and I'm trying to look out the fucking window to see what my kids are up to, I don't see that shit. But the second I comment on it, well, now I'm a racist, I'm a bigot, I'm the bad guy now, because I found it offensive that you're sitting in my fucking front yard making out.
I wouldn't go.
I gotta see you and your antics.
To be honest with you, I never was big on public displays of affection anyway, from heterosexuals or gay people. I mean, it's just something that should be done privately.
At the end of the day, it's
yeah.
What I'm getting at is when people have to blatantly display their lives out in front of me, and I don't care, I don't want to see it, but I still have to see it and watch it. But I'm not allowed to comment, or I'm not even allowed to say, hey.
I think it's about they just want the same standard applied.
Then all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy.
No, they just want the same. They just want the same standards to apply to them as apply to the heterosexual population. But
so,
if you were asking me what I would like to have, I would like to
go out of their way to make sure that I have to see firsthand how their daily lives are when I don't care.
Well, how do you feel about men and women How do you feel about men and women showing affection for one another in public? Is that acceptable?
I'm just using it as an example. I don't give a flying fuck if they're making out or not in all reality.
Yeah, okay.
I'm using it as an example. Some people don't like seeing that. Hell, my grandma would get pissed off if any of us grandkids would bring our girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever to meet our grandparents. You were not allowed to hold hands in their house. You were not allowed to sit pissed off and your girlfriend sat on your lap because there's a fucking chair that's where your ass is supposed to be, not on somebody else's lap when you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
There are some people that it's just better not to blatantly display your personal preferences in front of them. It's one of those things where it becomes a little bit having respect for other people around you.
Yep.
That's probably the biggest thing is everybody in our society is losing respect. You just do whatever the fuck you want to hell with anybody else and how it affects them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really frustrating for some parents that have young children and they're walking through the mall and their little kids see two guys kissing and groping and making out.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, your little kids asking all kinds of questions like, because they could think to maybe be a little more discreet. Now I got my 3-year-old, my 5-year-old asking me, Daddy, why are these two guys kissing? I had to get into a very uncomfortable conversation with a couple of children that are nowhere near mentally or psychologically mature enough.
Well, they would just never. It almost doesn't matter at that age what the answer is because they'll never understand. It doesn't matter what you say. I mean,
The point is, though, all of a sudden I'm stuck in a position now because of somebody else's action.
Yeah.
I have to fucking say something or do something, I have to deal with this.
Yeah.
One way or the other. You can't just tell a little kid, never mind. That does not fucking work.
I'm in favor of child-proofing society in general. Like, absolutely, yes, I agree with you. And no, people shouldn't. I mean, we've become a little bit dogmatic, I think, about labeling people as bigots or racists or whatever, and I don't think that's helpful either.
It's to the point that you're a bigot or racist or prejudiced if you don't agree with somebody else. Well, okay, so now I've lost the First Amendment here in the United
but in a free society, what we're supposed
to... I've lost my free speech.
Yeah.
Because you think I'm a racist, and you're going to go tell everybody I'm a racist, prejudiced bigot.
Well, this is what I mean about irredeemability, right? I was talking about irredeemability at one point earlier, and I said, well, the worst thing you can do is shut someone down like that. It's exactly the same thing. It really is. You're not irredeemable because you because you don't want to have uncomfortable questions from your children. We really should be, as a society, a little bit more concerned about the children and what they see around them. And if we had a society that was sort of somewhat child-proofed, and where if that kind of thing did go on in public, it was confined to the late evenings, or when children are not necessarily as present, then we would probably be a lot better off. But there are two sides to it, which both sides of any argument always leverage. One is the free speech argument, the other is the tolerance argument, right? So you have to, on the one hand, yes, you have free speech, and then there's the question of whether or not free speech, but the discomfort quality, to where a person is feeling uncomfortable with something or someone. And then there's the other thing we do in society, is sometimes we put up with it and we tolerate it, because tolerance is not emphasized, but it is a really great way to have your society not end up in a state of polarized conflict all the time. And if I could just go a little further on that point, this is one of the issues I think that confronts
tolerance is nothing more than just having respect for other people.
Is it?
At the end of the day, yes, because if you want to call it tolerance, that I'm tolerating the neighbors out in their front yard making out while my kids are in my front yard watching them, I'm tolerating it.
Well, no, that might be going...
I'm respecting their right to do what the hell they want in their yard. But if they come and do it in my yard, well, now all of a sudden they're disrespecting me.
That's right, yeah. Well, they could be...
There's more to it than just tolerance.
They could be disrespecting...
To have respect for the people that they want tolerance from.
They could be disrespecting...
That's what's not happening.
True, and they could be disrespecting you just by making out in their front yard in full public view. Like, as you say, discretion is probably advisable. There are duties for every citizen to follow. You have rights, you have obligations, you have duties, and you have... well, my legal professor would have called them non-rights, but they're sort of the cross between the intersection between responsibilities and duties. And they're hard to describe, but I won't go there. It's just part of legal theory. But the three main ones are rights, obligations, and responsibilities. And every citizen has to accept that. And unfortunately, in both Canada, the United States, as well as Europe, we don't do that anymore. And so we enter states of conflict, crisis, whatever you want to call it. But I think in general tolerance is helpful, and pleading for tolerance does not make me the victim necessarily. It's just being human. And trying to relax people who seem to be overly upset about things that they might consider not being overly upset about. Nothing more complex than that. I'm not here to be a stressor to anyone. And as I said before, some of this is just not fitting in everywhere that I go, and I'm content with that. I don't need to fit into every group of people. I would like to fit in with as many people as I can. Sometimes it's important, and you sacrifice tremendously to fit into places where you might not otherwise fit in. Perhaps you've worked somewhere where you didn't fit in, but in order to have the job, you made sure you did fit in, even if it wasn't true to your nature. That is a stressor, and it's difficult for people to do, but people do it all the time when there's money involved, when there's a livelihood involved. So it's possible to do, but you can't necessarily expect people to behave that way 100% of the time, and it certainly isn't going to be their preference. Is this your first experience with the new interface? I just realized.
I am 13,000 light years outside the bubble yet.
Yeah, but you have the new interface. It should be on your screens.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, I'm watching a Twitch video of Harry Potter.
Oh. Well, Obsidian Ant seems to think the new interface is the cat's meow. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's a bug on the restock all option. So if you get a message dialog that says server error, press OK to return to station services with an OK button. That bug.
If you go to the right menu, all they did is just rearrange the tabs. What the? Why?
Oh, just to make your life, to interfere with your life, right? That's that's the theme of the evening.
I don't understand the point. There's no advantage to laying out where they're at, how big the icons are. It don't matter. They're still there.
Well, now they're even more there.
They just rearranged what was there.
Yeah. Oh, because there's a training. There's a new training box in the default view on the right-hand panel. Modules is the same. Fire groups is the same. Ship has a new one, flight assistance, which you can turn your flight assist on and off. So it's used to control flight assistance, but all the other controls are identical to what they were before. Inventory looks identical as far as I can tell. Status is identical. So those are the only changes on the right panel. On the left panel, we have, well, of course, we have the new icon column for location.
I can turn the auto dock on or off without actually going to shut the fucking module off now.
Yeah.
How
the hell does this work again? You have to, you point at the thing. I can't remember how you use the auto, so you can avoid the loop of shame. The Super Cruise Assist. I think you have to point at something, and then there's a button appears somewhere. Oh, there it is. So you click on one of the options on the navigation menu, and then you can say lock destination to planet, the surface map. You can bookmark the location, and you can access the pilot's handbook. The lock destination icon is the pilot's assist, I believe. There's also statistics given for suitable for landing, common reserves, at the resource level, is it mapped, has rings, and so on and so on. And so on. And you can have some asteroid belt options. Um, hmm. You can just sort of figure out where the terrorist carriers are in the system if you're interested in docking and negotiating with terrorists. And the star will option under the navigation tab that connects now directly with the galaxy map. If you click the galaxy icon underneath a star system under the navigation tab, it will switch to the galaxy map view and show you where in the galaxy the star you've clicked on is located. And your fines and so forth are still under transactions. They're all classified as before. Contact seems to be identical. I don't know, looks the same to me. So that's on the left-hand pane. As for the rest, I don't know. There's some interesting changes to the commodities market window. So now you can have a better indication of supply and demand, and you can do better comparisons between different ports right inside this menu. So all in all, for the most part, it appears to be an improvement, but there are still a few bugs outstanding, as it seems to always be the case. And that's my assessment, for whatever it's worth. And now, guess what it's time for?
I have to really figure out why the hell they changed my fucking fire groups in my Anaconda here.
What?
So I'm using a composition scanner instead of a discovery scanner.
That,
I didn't have that one even selected.
That one I cannot help you with, I don't know. I didn't see any changes to my fire groups being altered. No changes.
The navigation tab though tells me the next jump and tells me got 309 jumps there. They just basically took the information, just rearranged it. They didn't really add anything to it. It's still the same information.
Well, there's still the Super Cruise assist. I mean, you don't have to do the loop of shame anymore, and you get the Super Cruise.
If I have it installed and if I have it turned on.
That's true. You do need to have it installed, but it comes. You get a bonus class 1 as soon as you dock your ship at the port. You'll get an automatic upgrade. So you should have space for. I think all the large craft get an extra space, and the smaller ones don't, or something like that. At least I didn't see one happen on my Crate Phantom when I was using it.
Small ships are supposed to get 2 more
slots.
Medium
Okay.
and large get 1 slot.
Okay.
I can get their own class 1 slot.
Well, at least class 1, yes. Actually, here, I'll have a look, because I actually didn't see anything on my Crate Phantom, but... Oh, I can't, there's no Crate Phantom here. I'll have to go back and look at it again later. But I didn't see the slots appear in my Phantom immediately, so maybe there's a bug still standing on the Crate Phantom, I don't know. I did, however, get a bonus class 1 on my big evil ship. No changes to the locker system. I don't really need... Oh, I don't know. I can have a torpedo. I don't want a torpedo. Yeah, so I got a bonus class 1 here. We got the interdictor for 4D, class 4D. We have the prospector, class 5A. We have... what else? Something in class 6. No, we have a refinery, class 4, in the class 7 slot. So there's that. And some of these systems I can still upgrade, like the refinery and the prospector, if I want, but I don't need to absolutely have that. Okay, we're ready to move. Oh, and did we get the nice missiles that we need? Hang on. Outfitting. Oh my god, we have big lasers. So we have the 2B seismic charge launcher to break up asteroids, and the 1D abrasion blaster. One of each, classes 1 and 2 respectively. And now we will launch and go find ourselves some rocks to blow up. Oh, I applied for my new apartment. And I used all the best possible options I could. So my father's agreed to co-sign the lease if necessary, although we're trying not to. But it's a really nice apartment, so I'm hoping I get it. Target has jumped away. Where's our planet? We have a planet somewhere close by.
Federal flight control now offline. Till next time, Commander.
Oh, planet. Did you take my planet? You took my planet, didn't you? There we go. LHS 346 sub 1, 8.06 light seconds distant.
Charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
According to EDSM, I'm at 451 systems discovered first.
Oh, nice. We have a hazardous extraction site underneath this ring. Switching to analysis mode, scanner activated. Standby. Launching probe. Here we go.
Surface scan complete.
Haha! We have a giant hotspot. And the winner is Alexandrite, Bromellite, void opals are at 0.8 light seconds. Lock on. Void opals located. Computer, move around this gas giant to the void opals location. Ahead 1/2. Oh look, it's one of my probes careening off into deep space. That's interesting. I thought the probes disappeared after a while. This one just keeps going and going like the Energizer Bunny.
Chase it down, catch it.
What's that?
Chase it down and catch it.
Well, then I'll be tempted to shoot it.
What's the bad about that?
I don't know. So how...
You need to release your pent-up sexual aggression.
Yeah, oh, hang on. I did that wrong. Okay, we're aligned with target destination. Why is this not working? It's dark here. Bring up the radar. Radar view active. Bring up combat. Scanning target. He's clean. Computer, launch the fighter. Why are you not launching the fighter?
Fighter deployment sequence initiated.
Oh, for God's sake. Now we're in the fighter. Just launched in the fighter. Computer, hold position.
31 bodies in that system.
Oh my god. All of them yours?
No, I'm just jumping. I'm kind of tired of scanning systems now. I only did 150. It's the first 150 I came across, or better. They're kind of old.
Yeah. Okay, we need to find a way to deploy our weapons again. I just forgot how. Oh, hang on.
Well, use that ED reference card site that I sent you. Make a cheat sheet.
I did.
You can look at it.
I did, but the text is too small and my printer paper is only of such a size. Like, I can't really... It's out of range, it says. Let's just see about that. Just going to close the distance here a little bit. Oh, okay.
Hey, Stumpy,
Hey?
figure out where Axel is yet?
Not yet. I'm still working on the app. I have fewer people supporting it now because of my misbehavior. Of course, I should be executed for what I did. I'm lucky to get off just with fewer beta testers. Okay, so now we will switch.
I tell you what, send me a copy of it and I'll break it for you.
Well, I'm sure you will. Radar activated.
I'll sell it to the highest Chinese.
Well, that's okay. They won't take it because it's free.
Never know. Maybe it's our leads will buy.
Yeah.
Figure out where Axel is before we do.
Probably. They'll devote entire teams of people to finding it.
Axel will probably their home system.
Actually, no, they won't. You know why? Because a Chinese company bought Frontier, if you recall. So now they want to keep it a secret. Those damn Chinese.
I don't understand how and why a Chinese company bought Frontier when it still ran by Freeman there in the UK. I don't know.
I don't know. They invest in foreign companies. They didn't buy all of Frontier. They bought some shares, but they have the largest block of shares in Frontier apart from Dave Bravin now. Okay. Now we have the plasma thingamabob. Where is this here? Aha. Deploying. We want the pulse wave, and why did my... Oh, I know why. Hang on. Need the prospector in secondary, no, that's the wake scanner. Prospector limpet, armed and ready. Excellent. Okay, so pulse wave. What do we got? Well, there's some yellow things here. Nothing too exciting. Oh! No, it won't be that one. No, it won't be that one either. Oh yeah, and I lost my co-pilot somehow. They went off when we visited the last starport. They went off somewhere. I ended up leaving the starport without them. But I didn't fire her, and I didn't get into trouble or anything, so I felt like firing her though. Maybe that was enough. I'm thinking about firing this person. They're gone all of a sudden. Wait a minute. I hadn't reached a conclusion yet. I guess you never know.
Maybe they decided that they didn't want to work for some asshole who wasn't sure he appreciated their efforts or not.
Jesus Christ, I wasted 3 limpets trying to just launch one because the other 2 crashed into my ship while I was moving. Ding! Do we win? Who wins the prize?
Prospector limpet engaged.
Oh, we have Avoid Opal's mountain here.
Asteroid scan complete.
Asteroid scan complete. Computer. Let's get out our weapons. We have the Prospector, the Seismic Charge, and the Abrasion Blaster. Excellent. Now, here's our big chance. It's not moving very fast. It's a low-strength fissure. That's average strength, eh? Okay. Got him.
Detonation sequence initiated.
Average strength. No. That one's low. That one's high. This one's average. have a winner. We are set optimally. Backing off. Detonation in 22 seconds. You know, these spaceships need a rear view mirror. I guess technically there's the vanity cam, but
In 10
Oh, an
seconds.
external camera view.
that's what I was just saying. Here we go.
Fire shields offline.
The fighter got blown up in the process. Unfortunately, it was too close to the explosion.
Not comply.
Oh no. We don't have a collector limpet. Which means I have to go into this fucking ass.
Don't work out very well, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't. Fortunately, cargo scoop is activated. We'll do this manually, but I'm not going to be very happy about it. Hang on a second. Let's go over here and have a look at our firing groups. No collector limpets are available. That's stupid. Okay, well, bring up the abrasion cannon. Abrasion blaster locked. There we go. Locked on. Moving closer. Got it. At least these rocks don't blow up very easily. Crash into them a fair amount before that happens. Holy shit, that scared the hell out of me.
Hi, buddy.
Cargo acquired. Okay, where's our next target? Aha. No.
What? You want some chili? It's on the stove, Sylvie.
We are on target. On target. On target. Well, so far this is going okay. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously, but I'm not suffering that much. I'm able to get the void opals out of the rock and then go get them with my ship fairly efficiently. Okay, and what do we got here?
Where's your mother?
Shit, I'm about to lose this one. It's at 1%. Take a stab. Failed. Almost got it though. I may have lost a few of these rocks. They count down from 100 once you blow up the rock, and I didn't get... I think I missed 4 or 5 of them.
It's not very good. You better figure out how to get all of them next time.
Well, next time I'll just bring all the limpets I need. I forgot my limpet control, and by the time I had realized my mistake, it was too late. What the hell is going on here?
What? Duck him in your sister's dirty, stinky boots.
You know what I've been watching lately on YouTube? It's hilarious. Are the flat Earth arguments. If you want to watch some like cheap entertainment, you watch that stuff. It's fucking hilarious.
Sounds like it'd be contagious and might drop my IQ a few points too.
I'm pretty sure it does. I already feel dumber for having even bothered to think about watching them. Which is probably why I'm counseling you to do so. Spreading the stupidity around as much as possible. Okay, I think we got as much as we're going to get out of this asteroid field, but next time I really must remember. I only got 7 full void opals out of that because of forgetting my automated limpet thingamabob. Laying in a course for the starbase so we can go fix this problem.
Cannot comply.
Leaving the ring system for now.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Super Cruise Assist active. We're now using the vanity cam.
Core dynamics, Alpha Romeo 0. You're clear for approach, Commander. Submit a request and enjoy your stay. We've got some moderate traffic around the facility, Commander. Regulate your speed. You are go for automated docking. Enjoy the ride, Commander.
FSP-6784. MacArthur Gateway, LHS 346 Democrats. A Federation starport, Coriolis class.
I'll be back.
Very good then.
Landing gear deployed.
The access corridor is designated as a no-stop zone.
Touchdown sequence complete. Securing ship. You're all checked in, Commander. Enjoy your visit.
Frameshift charge detected.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Detach confirmed. Observe queuing system when exiting the station.
The access corridor is designated for
Locking gear started.
blockages will be removed using lethal force.
Frameshift drive charging.
Federal flight control now authorized. Navigation control.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I just realized something else I forgot to do. And we are going to do it come hell or high water.
Core Dynamics, Alpha Romeo Zero. The Federation welcomes you, Commander. We'd be happy to serve you at this port. Acknowledged, Commander. Clear for assisted docking.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Docking confirmed. Dispatching ground crew. Good to have you, Commander.
And one task we must complete here. And it is a silly little task. Just a moment. Come on.
This station operates with zero tolerance for criminal infractions. Obey station law.
Holy smokers, this is taking all bloody week. Okay, folks. Looks like we're done for today. Thanks again for watching. This is Commander Trium at MacArthur Gateway in the LHS 346 system at 1:43:46 Zulu, 25 April 3305 UTC. And we're signing off. Don't forget, have yourselves a good night and fly safe, Commanders. Commander Trium out.